nothing but Star Wars. Please don't let those Star Wars go away. What is up, everybody? Yeah, I know I'm kind of dating myself by referencing a Saturday Night Live skit from 1978. Just for the record, I couldn't stay up and watch Saturday Night Live in 1978, but I do remember the skit. And, what I want to say, welcome to Will's Room for Food. How's everybody doing today? Merry Christmas, suckers! Alright, so today's Christmas Day. It's really not Christmas Day. When you're watching this is Christmas Day, but actually, as you see this is the past. So you're like, I guess I'm like the ghost of Christmas past. Mind blowing. So I went and saw Star Wars. Movie seems to be getting a little hate, some praise at the same time. Look, here's what I have to say about this. They're setting up a new storyline. I don't want to, if you haven't seen the movie yet, which by now, if you haven't seen the movie yet, you're not a Star Wars fan, so you really don't care. But let's just say they're killing off they killed off a pretty significant character. Another one in the Star Wars lineage of movies. And like they did that before with Han Solo. And I think what they're really trying to do is they're trying to, it's an out with the old, in with the new thing. I don't want to say that they completely screwed this because I actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the movie. It was a little long. I think the whole subplot, where they're in that casino planet or whatever, maybe we didn't need that whole thing. But you know, the special effects were outstanding, and it's not a boring movie. You know, when I went and saw the original Star Wars, or not the original Star Wars, the first of the prequel, episode 1 of the prequel in 1999 when it came out. I remember this like yesterday because I was such a huge Star Wars fan. Like a lot of Gen Xers, we grew up with the toys. It was just our lives, you know. I remember seeing Empire Strikes Back in the theater and Return of the Jedi in the theater. I was a little young to remember. I did see Star Wars in the theater, but it's like a budget theater. It was like a couple years later. But you know, so it was it was like Gen Xers, man. That's our childhood. And when you mess with that, you're messing with our childhood, and we can get a little defensive about it. But you know, when I went and saw the original, what am I getting at here? When the prequels came out, and I went and saw that in the theater. I was working nights at the time, and I remember I got done at like 10 o'clock, and originally wasn't going to go plan seeing that night. My girlfriend, who's my wife now, but my girlfriend at the time, I remember calling her. I'm like, let's see if we can go see the 10:30 showing. So we get there, we get to the theater, the anticipation of driving there. Is there going to be tickets there? Is there going to be tickets available? You know, God, I hope we can get in. And there was a line, and we get in. I'm like, yeah, we got tickets. We sit down, popcorn. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away flashes up. And I remember just the anticipation. And, you know, then the scroll starts. And I remember seeing in the scroll starts something about taxation of trade routes. I'm like, this is weird. And then that whole first scene of they're in the Imperial or the Imperial Senate or whatever it is. It was like watching C-SPAN. It was so freaking boring. And then Jar Jar Binks, shoot him in the head. So, I mean, those two things right there, they completely turned me off to the prequels. So, it gets to be like an out with the old, in with the new situation. Where am I going with this? I'm going to start talking. I'm not going to talk about drums today. I'm going to talk about a band called Greta Van Fleet. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. But man, they're a fantastic, fantastic band. I actually did a drum cover, which I will link to in the description below, of Highway Tune. And I see them, it's the same thing. They're getting a lot of hate, and they're getting a lot of praise at the same time. They're getting hate because people are saying they're a direct ripoff of Led Zeppelin. And they're getting praise at the same time because they're a direct ripoff of Led Zeppelin, which they're not. They are not a ripoff of Led Zeppelin. You'd be hard to find a bigger Led Zeppelin fan than me. You know, obviously they're out there, like Terry Keating, Bonzolian. He's bigger than me, but I'm pretty big. I'm a pretty big Zeppelin fan, you know, and I cannot find a single song that Greta Van Fleet directly ripped off. If you're out there and you're saying they're a ripoff, find me the song. All right, it's not like Kingdom Come when Kingdom Come came out, and people said, "Well, they're a Zeppelin ripoff." Yeah, they were a Zeppelin ripoff because "Get It On" sounded just like Kashmir. It sounded just like Kashmir. It even had the weird time signature, the tag, you know, with the skip beat or whatever at the end. This band does not have anything like that. They are not a Zeppelin ripoff. What they are, it's familiar, and I think that's what's causing so much polarity. Is they're taking a familiar sound and they're building on it. All right, so I hear people, well, the singer's just like he's a ripoff of Robert Plant. Well, he can't help what he sounds like. He sounds like, yes, he does have some Plant inflections in his voice, or what's the word I'm looking for? Inflections, infractions, emphasis. Somebody give me a frickin' thesaurus. I don't know the word I'm looking for. But he does have like a Plant-esque timbre in his voice. But at the same time, you could say the same thing about like a lot of the drummer. He's no John Bonham, you know. He doesn't play anything like John Bonham. I think I play more like John Bonham than he does, you know. But nobody like freaks out when somebody rips off, when somebody plays like John Bonham. Well, he plays just like John Bonham. He's a John Bonham ripoff. Why? Why is that? Why can a drummer get away with playing like another drummer, but a singer can't get away with sounding like another singer without being, you know, without the ripoff comparison coming in? That's about it. You know, I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Three or four guys in particular, 3 or 4 channels in particular, I want to say thank you to. And that would be DrumMan 190 for your support of my channel while I started growing this. Thank you so much, you know, for what you do. A lot of good things, and you're enthusiastic, and, you know, you obviously care about what you care about growing this whole community. Number 2, Beats by Jay. I've been a fan of your channel for a long time. You probably didn't know it, but I really love your channel. I think you are hilarious. I love your musicians, and this is speaking of the ripoff. Speaking of like the Greta Van Fleet Led Zeppelin ripoff, this right here, I'm just kind of stealing your whole idea. I think we're similar people, and I got a feeling if we sat down together with some booze, we could get in a lot of trouble. So thank you, Beats by Jay, for your shout out. I really, really appreciate it. Who else? Oh, Earl Bennett. Thanks, Earl Bennett, for all the kind words you've said to me, you know, over the past couple months. I've really enjoyed our interactions. I love your channel. I love the Drum Talk series. I'm a gearhead. I could sit and talk about drums all day long, and man, we're kindred spirits. And last but not least, I'm sorry if I didn't mention anybody else, but these are the 4 guys that I think I've really connected with and have something in common with, and who have helped me out. And the very last one would be Little Drummer Channel. Man, Jeremy, I love your channel, man. I love what you're doing with it. You've got the best drum sounds out of anybody doing acoustic drums on YouTube. Your videos always sound fantastic. I wish I could get my drums to sound a quarter as good as you get yours to sound. And man, you're just a positive influence in the community. You don't have everything you just exude positivity, and you really truly are bringing this whole community together. And I just appreciate every one of you guys. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a safe New Year. Be careful out there, man. There's a lot of idiots. I'll talk to you guys next time.